That's a nice phrase, fortress of solitude. Well, two things work for me, really. Firstly, the comforting companionship of my fur babies. When you know that you're going to be loved unconditionally, regardless of what you do, or how you look, whether you are going gray or bald, whether you are cantankerous or calm, and when you know that you're going to be loved so much more than you are capable of giving, no amount of insanity rising from within or attacking you from outside can withstand the force, the intensity of that love. The second thing has to be the soothing cruise down the memory lane. Our trip back into nostalgia puts a smile on the most hardened of face. Thinking back on the good times, revisiting the good memories, pulls over a protective, therapeutic quilt over you, pushing away the pall of gloom. Well, to be able to, see and accept reality, that is a good sign of sound mental health. To be able to nurture goals, to be able to make decisions, to not be affected by unsavory external push and pulls, to be able to be kind to one's past, be friendly with one's present, and be respectful of one's future. To be compassionate towards both oneself and others, including other living beings, all other living beings. Because when you are affected inside, the anger that may be welling up tends to come out on others, and more so on the voiceless, on those who can't defend themselves, because you tend to maybe camouflage your weakness by affected sense of power, and that exercise over people who are weaker than you. That is why I say compassionate also towards others, more so towards other living beings. Also, a good barometer of sound mental health is to be able to recognize and acknowledge one's foibles, yet to work at getting out of their trap, and to improve and grow yourself over and above them, onwards, upwards. I also think that the baseline is defined by kindness to oneself and respect for oneself, from which stem the same set of sentiments for others. Yes and no. Yes, because I stay hungry and keep myself foolish. I keep too many of my interests alive: music, gardening, interiors, reading, learning. And at the times, at those moments when I really feel healed, I tend to go back to my singing and dancing. So when the heart is light, when the mind is free, you tend to pursue those pursuits. And no, because being the favorite child of loss, and being overly sensitive and emotional, at times it is one step forward and two back. think the biggest one is to create your unique place under the sun. You want your voice to be heard, you want your words to be read, and that's a challenge in today's times of, increased clamor, chaos, and content overload. Then there is the imposter syndrome you combat regularly. Am I good enough? Will I meet my readers' expectations? Will my book be loved? There is also then peer pressure and performance and delivery issues. It really goes back to the old dictum, if you really love your work, it doesn't feel like work at all. Every day is fun and pleasure and a source of joy. I have always enjoyed writing, first as a side hustle and now as a mainstay. I have been in love with all my professional roles, be it hoteliering, or media work, or business writing, so much that it has been a lot of fun. So the pressure has not been, at all from the quantum of work or from its toughness. What has been a problem though is people created issues, and it's always like that, like office politics, interpersonal dynamics, the power, ego, and control games we humans love, engaging ourselves in. Those affect my mental health. As for juggling, I'm a very impatient person who needs challenges and several things going on at the same time. Even when I have been in rigorous full time corporate roles, I have always craved for more. When I was working on my PhD, I was also working as India's first ever creative writer in a big social expressions industry, or writing for newspapers. When I was working at the Australian diplomatic mission, I was either doing shows on television or I was, hosting shows on air as a radio jockey. Along with heading PR and communication departments for major league, five-star international hotels, I would pursue my interests in studying and learning by participating in summer universities and fellowships. So I guess some of us are happy being perpetual eternal jugglers. That's a very good question and a very important one. Well, the first thing is by making the subject less daunting, by bringing an acceptance of it via celebrities and influencers, by media outreach, particularly these days, social media outreach, by undemonizing the whole thing, by making it come out as normal and routine, because that's what it is. It is normal, it is routine. All of us face it, everybody faces it all over the world every time. By bringing out the relevance and effectiveness through examples and case studies of people, especially well known people. By making mental health issues less of a taboo matter, by pulling in mental health professionals into discussions or podcasts that are available on the palm of your hand. The idea, is if you will not, well, if you will hesitate going to them, we will bring them to you. And that's a great start, I feel. Absolutely, I do. Being somebody who has been battling mental health issues, either stemming out of depression or grief or tumultuous, vicissitudes of life, I feel one is sound enough to be able to help others who are in the same boat. So yes, absolutely, I would want to. Also, as authors and thereby being influencers, we have a wide bandwidth of doing something about it, by writing about it, by talking about it, by initiating discussions, uh, by wiping the shame off this subject through one's writings, by sharing our own experience, that's a big one, by bringing fairness and sensitivity to the matter in place of caginess and hesitation that many people face, by helping the mental health talk retain its sense of normalcy through our writings and our discourses. I think we have a great power that rests in authors and writers. The biggest things I would look out for are sensitivity, the sensibility, the maturity, the value placed on acceptance of mental health, the aspect of empathy and inclusiveness. I think that's major according to me. What's also big in my scheme of things is the honesty, the candor in giving it its rightful place. Let's make mental health a common subject, a normal subject to talk about and tackle.